Hi everyone, welcome to the fashion lightning demos hosted by PIM vendors. I'm your host for today, Stephan Spijkers. Let me know if you run into any technical issues by sending me a quick chat, or if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line as well. I am one of the co-founders of PIM vendors, so not just the technical questions for this event, but also if you have any questions about selecting a PIM, you're always happy to, I'm always happy to answer any of your questions. Today, we'll be listening to 3 vendors in a unique setting where they will demo their tool, their solution to you, to the audience in 20 minutes each. We'll have 3 vendors today, 3 solutions that'll demo their solution, afterwards, after these 3 sessions, you're very much welcome to join one of the live Q&A sessions. You can jump to another session on your left-hand side. So from stage, you can jump to the sessions or to the Expo. You're very welcome to join one of our live Q&A sessions with the speakers after everyone has finished. And you're also welcome to explore the Expo area and join the booths where you can chat with the vendors, ask additional questions, or just get more info on their solutions as well. That said, I'm very glad to announce our first speaker of today, Josh Derret of Pimberly. Josh, welcome today. I am going to give you the floor, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you very much. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see that now. I would like to first of all thank everyone for joining. Today we're going to be exploring how we can create confident consumers with the help of Pimberly's new auto sizing feature. So first of all, as we begin, it's worth mentioning that Pimberly is the first PIM to release a feature of this nature. It's been designed and created by our Manchester-based developers to allow retailers to take the next step in publishing the most accurate and timely product information for their online stores. First of all, here we have some statistics. This showcases the many millions of dollars that are missed with customers not converting at the checkout and are spent on dealing with product returns. For example, the Baymard Institute compiled a list of studies and discovered that nearly 70% of carts are abandoned at the checkout stage. Similarly, the National Retail Federation found that over 12% of apparel products are returned, resulting in over $100 million worth of product returns for every $1 billion in sales revenue. We all know there's an increasing consumer demand in accurate, up-to-date, and easily available product information when shopping online. There's a huge competitive edge towards the retailer who can provide all of the relevant details over the retailer who has the bare minimum. And if this information can be presented visually, then even better. Typically, the only process around creating sizing charts is long, manual, and costly, and so usually limited to only certain products, if ever created at all. Controlled at parent level, the process around creating these visuals within Pimberly is quick, easy to manage, and powerful in increasing conversion rates and minimizing product returns. We all know that high return rates can be costly, and receiving products that don't match the consumer's expectations can be damaging to both brand loyalty and returning custom. So there are many reasons why creating confident consumers through Pimberly's auto sizing charts will only see online revenue growth. So what do these charts look like, and how do we need to prepare our data to make this process fast, effective, and powerful? In this quick demonstration, we'll be covering the following: storing data sets of information in Pimberly, using life cycles to ensure quality of information, how users can go about enriching products, the approval workflow process that goes around it, the use of Pimberly's integrated DAM, digital asset management tool. And as I'm covering these points, we're looking at both how this impacts both the user's view and ultimately, and more importantly, the end consumers. So before we dive into Pimberly itself, I just wanted to show a typical example of what a product website or a web store would look like. So here we've got a basic product. We've got a long sleeve shirt, and then we've got all the information you'd typically expect. We've got a couple of images, we've got the price, there's drop downs for color and size, a little bit of a description around the product and material composition, and some logos and icons as well. But the obvious point here is, a customer can see the website, they might like the product, it's got the bare information that they need, and they know roughly what size they are. But we all know, particularly in the world of fashion, that products and sizes can all come in different flavors and versions. So the customer themselves might know that they're typically a medium, or they might check out both. They might select the large and click between the two. But this is ultimately just a guess. The majority of websites have just as much information as this. Some of them might have sizing and dimensions actually in the text itself, but this isn't reflective or does change when they're clicking between the different variants. So this is what we set out to change within Pimberly. So to show you how this works, if we go across into Pimberly, and this is the screen share I'll go over shortly, this is Pimberly itself. So if we think about all the dimensions and information that we need to produce these sizing charts, this is all stored within the background of Pimberly. Often our customers will have a variety of different data sets within here to look after different product types. In this example, we're talking about shirts, but it can be used for any. So just to show you how this works, so a data set is essentially a bunch of information that can be used in other parts of the PIM. So these could be the sizes. Here we've got extra, extra large through to extra small. And we have different columns of information, which is actually the dimensions that will be used on the sizing charts later. Where we've got columns A, B, and C, this will become clear how that data gets utilized later. So it's important to bear this in mind, and I'll explain back as we go. The second part I mentioned on the slide earlier is around how we'll use life cycles to ensure the quality of the information that we're outputting. I've just got an example life cycle stage here to show you. Customers have different setups and configurations of this. Everything we're looking at in Pimberly is configurable. But this life cycle stage is ensuring that products follow a predetermined path through the platform. In this case, it's coming through a newly onboarded, categorization, have we got all the relevant photography done? And more importantly for this stage, enrichment itself. And we can see each of these stages have criteria within them. So it must meet this criteria before the product can flow through. And in my example of enrichment, other than the actual marketing copy, which we know we've had when we looked at that web page, a product must have a size code allocated and it must be approved before it can be ultimately deemed ready. So this life cycle is ensuring you haven't got a scenario where products are being released live, but they're missing key parts of the data. So how does this work for users within the PIM? So if we go over to the product section over here, let's filter down and grab an example product to talk through. So here we've got a long sleeve shirt, just like the one we looked at on that web store. Up at the top, we've got the parent level, and then the different sizes or variants that can come in. But right up here at the parent, if I open this record as an example, all of the information that we saw on that store, the title, the marketing copy, logos, and so forth, are all driven from the PIM, along with those digital assets. So these are the two images that are on that web store, but we've also got some sizing charts as well. This is just a template that we put together for the purposes of a demonstration. But when I mentioned that data set earlier with those columns and values, this is where this information is being pulled from. So I've got those sizes, XXL through to extra small, and these different columns of data, A, B, and C, which I mentioned earlier, that reflects the different dimensions on the sizing chart. So column A reverts to length, column B to chest, column C to waist, and so on. I'll explain this later, but these can, of course, be configured depending on the product. You might have shoes and jumpers, for example, and trousers, and you can have different templates and data sets to look after them. But here are all the actual dimensions for these different size shirts, and this tells the customer what that reference is. So if we drop down into the child level where the actual variant information is stored, so we could pick XXL, for example. So all the information for that variant is within the product view here. But how does this work from a user's point of view? We need to keep this nice and simple. So if you're onboarding new members of the team who need to enrich product data, they don't have to get up to speed. It's quite simple. They could select within here what size code or what we're talking about. Extra, extra large, they could flag that, for example. Once that's been ticked, Pimberly will reference that data set and it knows what type of products we're talking about. So it can go ahead and automatically publish and populate these weights and dimensions. That data set we mentioned can just be a spreadsheet loaded into the PIM, and that can be updated anytime. But it means users don't have to go through, and you're reducing the risk of error in terms of populating this information, which can be another cause of returns if you've got users entering information in wrong. So the user selects what size code we're talking about, and then workflows can notify the relevant team. I touched on approval workflows and steps earlier. So once that's been done, user comes into the system and flags that. And this could go off, notify a user of the relevant department to come in, check out this information, make sure it looks about right and they're happy with the rest of the product content, and they could approve it. We could see that this box is now ticked to green because it meets that life cycle criteria that we mentioned. And they might also flag as well, and it depends on the business and what their process is. But for example, the e-commerce or marketing teams might have approved the product, and Pimberly will also stamp the time date here once the product is okayed. But more importantly, this life cycle is now being fulfilled. We know we've got the marketing copy, somebody's entered a size code, the product's approved. So now Pimberly can go off and generate these sizing charts. This process takes around 40 seconds and runs in the background. You don't need to do anything. But what this will result is, if they open the extra large variant, those columns representing these different aspects and sizes on the shirt are now presented with real-time values for that particular shirt. So the XXL has a chest of 80, a waist of 75. As mentioned before, businesses themselves can configure these charts. They know what their customers are looking for. The customer can refer to us and say, these are the values that we want on our sizing charts, and we can go off and produce them. The templates themselves, if they don't have any already, they can work with Pimberly and our print design team to produce these templates. Or if they've got an existing list they want to bring into PIM, they can share those with us. We can create them in the background. It's also worth mentioning, as part of Pimberly's DAM, it's integrated as standard. These are inseparable. So here we're looking at images, JPEGs and PDFs, but this can be any media file. It's worth mentioning this because if this information was to change, let's say a user comes in and you've changed the product for whatever reason, maybe the material composition's changed or there's a different fit, a user can update those data sets and this will automatically produce these new sizing charts for us. Often might be the case as well, if you're taking information in from suppliers, then the customer might check and measure that product, or they might get feedback from customers and say this isn't correct. So they can log into the PIM, react quickly to the issue, update that data, and then all of these sizing charts are automatically renewed. And if you're publishing that across multiple web stores, Pimberly will do that for you. You don't have to log into the back end of each and make these changes manually. The PIM system, Pimberly in this instance, will automatically publish that for us and store those previous versions. So let's say you have updated the value, this one would get archived, and the new one would be set to the primary and sent to your main sales channels. Now, the value of this is if somebody comes back, maybe one of their customers makes a query on a product they bought 3 weeks ago, for example, they could go into the PIM and see what would that customer have had at the point of sale. So it gives them that governance and audit control on the product's change over time, which is an important part of the data to look after. So that's in terms of the sizing chart. Just to recap there quickly, a user's come into the system, selected the sizing code, that's been approved. The system knows we've gone through the right process and has gone off and generated these and automatically published them to the website. To give a feel on how these templates are produced, we can have channels out of Pimberly driving this data. So where I've got PDS here for washing machines, sofas, laptops and shoes, for example, we were looking at the formal shirt example, but you can have a variety of these templates set up within the Pimberly. And what's actually happening here is whenever any of those values are changed, this is being outputted to our design service, which is stored on AWS. So these things are getting generated automatically. And as I mentioned before, these can take 30 to 40 seconds to propagate and be stored against the product. So that's how it works from a user's perspective within Pimberly. But what does this mean for your own consumers on the store? So if I click across, you've got a different version of that website. Very similar, same product we were talking about before, but now we've got some sizing charts. So here, long sleeve shirt, same ones before with the same images. But the customers come to the site and they're saying, right, they're up at the parent level, they haven't picked a color yet, they haven't picked a size. So Pimberly's provided the top level parent chart that we talked about earlier. So within here, it's got all of those relevant dimensions. Again, can be configured to present whatever's important for you, for their customers. And you've got the data referencing what these different values mean on the shirt. But if the customer goes ahead and selects, for example, medium, the assets have changed. We've got that specific variant now. We've got the sizing chart that shows the information on the medium. So just as an example, if we zoom in on chest and waist, we've got chest at 65 centimeters, we've got waist at 60. The customer knows roughly what their dimensions are. They might think that's right for them, but they could click across and say, right, let's look at our large version. Pimberly's provided these to the back end of the web store, so that's now changed. And the customer can see, right, chest is now 70.4 centimeters, the waist is now 65. So this kind of brings us back to the start of this presentation. The customer knows which one's going to fit them and they can purchase the right one accordingly. At the end of the day, it's helping to drive confident consumers and reduce that product return rate. You're trying to stop them from ordering 3 or 4 versions of a shirt with the pure intention of sending 2 or 3 of them back once they've tested the right one on. They've come in onto your web store, got the right information that they needed, and purchased the right product, and it will fit and meet their requirements. So that was what I wanted to run through in terms of the demonstration itself. If I just jump back to the PowerPoint from before, I'd just like to thank you all for listening. If you've got any further questions, myself and my colleague Bruce Wright will be in the waiting room to answer any questions that you guys might have, and we look forward to those later. So thank you all for listening.
All right, Josh, that was very insightful and a very quick introduction of a very relevant feature for the audience. I want to thank you for your for the presentation, and as you said, the audience is welcome to join you for the Q&A session afterwards. But we're now moving on to our next speaker, Ben Rund from Riversand, a Syndigo company. Ben, good afternoon, and you have the floor.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Let me start also my screen share here. Super. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Ben Rund. I'm with Riversand, which is part of Syndigo, and I'm super delighted to be part of that. People who follow me maybe know that I'm very passionate about fashion. We're going to talk about today how we're really making the fashion experience very individual and how we're supporting that from our side. I'm super proud that I'm accompanied on the meeting today with some of my colleagues from Riversand and Syndigo, and also one of our local partners, company named Calago, Aryan. Their CEO and co-founder is also on the meeting for additional questions as a follow-up in the breakout if you want to do that. So why did you come here today? What is the experience you want to offer your clients? The virtual try-ons, whatever is the offering you're trying to make, the data is key of that. So, but I could show you many cool fashion pictures and things like that, but I felt like I'll look into an example which has really impacted my life in the PIM and MDM market. Do you actually know what this is? This love the animal is a manatee. I've seen them on one of my Florida vacations, but why am I showing you that? I'm showing you that because of this one. Look at 2 different product examples, 2 dresses, but we have to look at the details. The upper product is the normal sizes, and it's called dark heather gray as a color. The lower example is the plus size product version. And wow, look at this color name. It's called manatee gray. Would you feel comfortable being called out as a manatee if you have to order the plus size? Probably not. By the way, this is an example which is about 10 years old. It has already created a shitstorm 10 years ago. It would be even worse today. And of course, you will definitely not sell with that. Who are we actually helping to sell? I thought I'd give you a few examples of some brands and retailers we're working with in the fashion industry. Some of them you probably may know. And of course, what are the things which are at your heart? We see many trends like shopping, the look, connecting accessories, apparel, shoes, and eyewears, really proving the sustainability approach, the personalization. Social media, omni-channel is finally truly reality, not only a story which some people like us created a couple of years ago, truly not, it's reality, and loyalty through social channels. And regardless of if you want to do all of that or where you're starting, controlling the data is for sure the secret source to the solution of that. But I'm not really sure, but you can share maybe in the follow-up chat, what are the key business objectives which are mattering to you? Is it the efficiency because you have to spend thousands of hours in managing your data? Is it conversion rates? Is it product return? Is it card revenue? There are many business goals you might have, but it's important that we understand your priorities so that we can better relate to that. We think, and we're seeing with our customers, that offering a really contextual experience based on the data is the key to success. In the next couple of minutes, we're going to look into a few examples. We'll look into enhanced content. What is actually enhanced content that really has impact on revenue? We're looking also a bit into the size question. A very good example we've seen earlier, really good job. And how you offer the right product to the right customer. The big vision everyone is talking about, but how you can get there. So let me ask you, do you actually want to see me in my swim shorts? Maybe better not. Yeah, so I'm not showing you that, but finding actually the right size of a swim short was a big challenge for me this summer. I'm actually a pretty tall person. And sometimes I have an XL or a double XL order. But even if I order multiple ones from different brands, and you can actually watch my video, how many products I had to return, some actually felt like being an S size. So having detailed information definitely is key. And we're researching that with our clients. So the research with our client project shows, for example, things like product tours have a massive impact on the add to cart rate. In this case, for example, 74%. That's an example of one of our clients. So other examples of enhanced content is showing this watch in different user scenarios, showing the tide data, surf activity, surf line sessions, and so on. And I think a very important feature we're seeing with our customers is the comparison tables. The research of our clients show that the add to cart rate is 9 times higher when you offer that functionality. A new must do is talking about your commitment to the environment and to sustainability. That's also one of the jeans makers we're working with who had a clear communication about what do they want to offer, and producing 80% of the jeans without water, actually by this year. But that's just a teaser image. There's a bigger story underneath that. So there's a lot about storytelling. That means it's all about content. And that brings us to talking about enhanced content. If we would zoom out or print out a product page on the web, it may look like that. It's hard to see, so let's zoom into it. So it starts, for example, with contextual hotspots. Here's an example of a coffee machine. We saw the jeans jacket earlier with the mouse over product tour capabilities. But you scroll down the website, you have much more content. There's the core content, the nice marketing description. There's content coming from maybe data pools, additional core content, and inline enhanced content, which is comparisons or cross and upsell capabilities, or even deeper if it's how does a brand want to be recognized? Detailed brand context, right? If it's the brand owner's own website or own store, or it's the brand owner's content for the retail page where it's being published. That's what we're helping a lot of clients with, kind of from a manufacturing perspective, creating the products, assembling them, mapping them and publishing them, helping really to review, approve, and deliver the content and publishing it and integrating it into own or retail websites. And one of the clients we're doing that is actually About You, big name out of Germany, recently just announced going to Italy, for example, where as a fast-growing company, the biggest challenge was the mapping of content in a fast pace, moving away from the manual works to automating that. There's a detailed story. We're happy to share that for you to read how we're actually doing that. But bringing data in context, right? That's what matters. And you can look at, for example, at one product where you look into showing, of course, there's an identifier across each product, which is identical. But the way how you're presenting it, let's say in English United States or Amazon seller in English, but that might be not activated, inactive product, or the content in Spanish, French, or whatever. But there's certain context, obviously, as you know, which is being inherited, and something which is individual, obviously translated and mapped to the content. But when we're talking about actual content, and content which is enhanced, as I showed you in the examples, it is important for that area that you have to make sure that the content is of high quality. So we're supporting that with configurable web previews so that you actually can preview how it may look on the web store before you publish it. These are just two examples how such a preview could look like inside your PIM or MDM application. Let's look into a bit more, right? When we talk about enhanced content, 360 images could be one way to support that, right? Whether it's fashion or any other things. That's just one part of the digital asset management capabilities, which are the prerequisite for this custom experience we're talking about. Ratings, customer ratings are so important. Collecting that data, bringing it back into your PIM or MDM model, and reusing it in different channels. That is also an additional way of enriched content, which separates you from other players probably in the market. Another example I actually wanted to show you is how to create a different additional variant of a product. We're starting here with a t-shirt. There is a green t-shirt, which already was created in a certain size, let's say an L. So what we always do is we'll help the users follow a kind of a wizard. You see that also at the top, right? 1, 2, 3 steps or multiple steps, which are being created for you. So you can easily create an additional variant, which could be an additional size, for example, in fashion. You click on create. It's very easy then to build that because you guide the users to help the right people do the right things. That's overall the approach we're taking by guiding your business users. That was the good old days when I was allowed to travel. In this case, I had the pleasure to go to a big data conference in Vegas. But I had on that day time to do a run to the famous Las Vegas sign and had somebody take that picture of me. And you probably already see where I'm going with that story. I am wearing a certain shirt on that picture. And I was obviously also tracking my running activities with my Nike Running Club app. On that app, I'm actually also tracing what shoe I'm currently wearing. When I came back from my run and had my shower, and after that had my mobile again in my hand, I was surprised by an email from that brand giving me applause for my sports activity and inviting me and informing me that the store is only a couple of 100 meters away from my hotel. It was actually a map inside that email. And was inviting me, right, to buy me a thank you for my sports activity. So I had time. It was Sunday. I still had time before the business conference was starting on Monday. So the Sunday afternoon, I just moved over. Maybe someone of you have actually been to that mall where that superstore is available. They have been offering actually quite some running equipment, a good running look. Honestly, I did not walk away with running clothes, but I did walk away with other things I purchased on that day. And that means the connectivity of understanding me, my preferences, me as a customer, my products, and where I actually am has made me come and easily actually check out. So managing the relationship information is definitely the key and the foundation for that. In that example, we're actually seeing the basic profile of a product, the shoe, an Air Max as an example, all relationship information to that, the connectivity to me as a customer, the connectivity to the cross-sell shop the look offerings, all the images and creative materials around it. We could animate that. I'm showing you an example here, how you animate a graph and how you drive and actually go into understanding knowledge, whether it's connecting a product to a location, to a client, cross and upsell look components. You can look at that in different approaches, and you can easily see and create bundles and complete lookbooks in connecting the dots. We truly believe that this connecting the dots is the fundamental prerequisite for the customer experience everyone is talking about. If you're interested to hear it directly from one of our clients, I'm also sharing that with you as a follow-up. You can watch the video of Bowden, where here our customer Alex is talking why they're working with us. And they're using our platform, first of all, in the planning mode, where they're drafting a new season, defining potential styles and colors, when it's not even clear what products are being brought to market. Then also in the manufacturing process, really when the detailed product is being defined, right, with all the attribution detailed information. And then finally also in the selling in their own channels and also in additional retail channels where they're going through with their enriched content in multiple contexts and languages and experiences. Just one of many, but always good to hear it directly from one of our customers, how they're and why they're actually working with us. Quick question to the audience overall. Has anyone already bought things through chat commerce? Maybe we can discuss that in the follow-up or in the breakout. I can tell you that I did. Now, how did it come actually? I was once directly complaining actually about a missing feature or something didn't work on the web store when I wasn't able to select my 45 shoe size, which I wanted to order. After actually then tweeting about that, I was contacted by that brand. There's a detailed blog, by the way. I'm happy to share that with you with more screenshots and examples. That brand was able to identify myself on Twitter, and my Twitter name is Benrand, but actually born name I'm Benjamin. So they needed to know who am I. They have been able to find who I am. They've been able to contact me through chat. I've given obviously them the permission because I like that brand and I want to be in dialogue with them. So a person, in this case, it was not even a chatbot, it was a person as a personal shopper assistant was coming to me, contacting me and asking for the issues I had. And actually just wanted me to ask what I'm looking for. That has led into them offering a full look in WhatsApp channel where I was able just to check this out just by one click. That gave me the service that I was actually able to show and send pictures. I'm looking for a suit like this. I'm looking for a shirt like this. Do you have something comparable? Because I've seen that by window shopping or window browsing in my Italy vacation. So they've been able to offer me comparable products. But in order to enable all that, understanding image recognition, what a customer is willing to share, understanding who is that customer, and connecting that to the products I have already purchased, that they're not offering me the same thing, or connecting me then to the individual shopper assistant who is probably maybe speaking my language if possible, again needs you to connect product, location information, customer information, brand information, and whatnot, and more. And that's where I think connecting products to other things, thinking beyond the PIM story only, I think is key in order to enable the customer experience we're all talking about. We're doing that with a kind of an end-to-end cycle, right? So we're helping our customers to onboard data from different sources, whether it's internal, external sources, managing, enriching them, creating these relationships I was talking about, syndicating them out to the touch points where they're being sold. They're creating an engaging experience for the client, but also getting feedback from that. How is the content being used? Is the content driving conversions? Because that allows you again to have an endless cycle of creating the quality of content you need to drive the outcomes which you want to achieve for your customer. I feel like it is a bit of important for those who probably don't know Riversand and Syndigo so much in detail. Riversand and Syndigo are together now since May this year. Syndigo is the world leader in syndication for onboarding and publishing and syndicating products, while Riversand is Gartner Master Data Management leader for MDM and Forrester leader for PIM. That means our combined offering allows customers like you to control your products, your customer location data of all master data, the product information management use case, the embedded digital asset management capabilities, and the integration and syndication, plus the feedback channel from the use of the data. And you see a lot of big numbers here on that slide. We're doing that now not only in fashion, multiple industries globally. And the important message actually I want to share with you as a summary is same like the sizing topic, t-shirt sizing, the same applies to the solution we offer to our customers. It can start very big. It can also start very small. And if it starts small, it can grow with the need of you, because it's probably a bigger volume, it's internationalization. All that is easily possible in the cloud SaaS world today. And we're happy to really go deeper on that. And with all the, let's say, a few ideas, we wanted to invite you to really think about what is the customer experience you want to offer to your customers, but what is the vehicle or the setup you have today. And even if your use case is probably small today, you may have ambitions to grow. So we can go that journey with you. We have been doing that for large and small enterprises. And if you want to discuss, please be so kind, talk to us, talk to Arjen, talk to me, maybe in the breakout. I want to really thank all of you for being with us today, and happy to take any questions in the later breakout room. Thank you so much for taking the time being with us today.
All right, Ben. Thank you so much for a very strong presentation and a very strong overview of the tool. Indeed, you will be there to answer the questions on the session later on, after our final speaker of today has finished his demo. Rupert Firmstone from Novomind, welcome, and I'm going to give you the floor.
Thank you, Stephan. Just need to work out how to share. So thanks everyone for joining today. Slight apology on my side. I do have a cold, so if I sound a little bit rough, apologies for that. I'm country manager for Novomind, and I'm based in the UK. I have a passion for customer experience, audience engagement, and hyper-personalized customer journeys. Today, I'd like to share some of my thoughts on the fashion industry and give you an overview of Novomind solutions. As you probably know, the fashion industry is going through a massive change, and this has resulted in the death of major players, whilst others at the same time have thrived. E-commerce experiences need to be much more accurately tailored to an individual's needs and values of a much more diverse audience. So on here you can see these are some of the factors that must be addressed as part of the mix, both now and in the future. The successful coupling of Novomind products enables fashion organizations to address many or even most of these throughout the whole customer journey. I'm going to introduce you to Heather and Ellie shortly. They both have different values, preferences, and to broaden our market, we need to find ways to appeal to both of them. This is called contextualization, which is showing products in a context relevant to a user. Just need to work out how to get the slide to change. 1 second. So a little bit about Novomind. So Novomind is headquartered in Germany, Hamburg, about 400 people, and have been developing solutions for 20 years. We have 4 products. iPIM is for managing product information. iShop is an e-commerce platform. iMarket is a marketplace middleware for integrating with marketplaces such as Amazon, eBay, and about 40 others globally. iAgent is an e-commerce customer service solution. These products all work in harmony to create a hyper-personalized, low-friction e-commerce customer journey. So all of our products work separately with other systems, so you don't have to have all of them at the same time. We can also integrate with, for example, commerce systems like Magento. So what makes us special? Well, our PIM and commerce solutions are running the stores of Europe's largest e-commerce company, Otto. iPIM is a digital-first PIM that's focused on e-commerce and has specific functionality for multiple storefronts. The system is modular, can be implemented with a lower number of man days and has a rapid time to go live. The architecture is modern, it's scalable and headless, and of course, German technology. Well, I'm quite a fan of German technology. I think I may have a problem with the slide moving. 1 second.
Rupert, we can see the overview of all the brands now. So
oh, you can. Cool, excellent. So I think I said we have about 400 customers globally. These include Puma, Volkswagen, Samsung, Otto, DHL. We operate in many verticals, so B2B, B2C, D2C. Most of our customers are mid to large size organizations, and typically ones that require a high level of customer experience. E-commerce experiences need to be much more accurately tailored to individual needs and values of a more diverse audience, where personas have different social values and respond to different situations or context. So Generation X and Y often have different values and needs compared to other generations, and are often more concerned about an organization's political views, equality, sustainability, ethics, social influences, and these need to be taken into consideration when engaging with this audience. Successful fashion companies need to adapt and find ways to engage with these audiences without alienating other audiences or their traditional audiences. Both gender fluid and unisex trends are really reshaping fashion rules. This increases the need to deliver experience in a context relevant to the user. So personas have very different social values, and we need to tailor these experiences, and the PIM can support this as an enabler to contextual commerce. So here we have Heather and Ellie, both different generations, physique, and they have different values. They both shop online and were given the same dress to illustrate these differences. Ellie is 17, she's an urban girl, lives with her parents in London, has a skinny physique and carries a confident pose. In her spare time, she parties, enjoys gaming and earns money modelling. Heather is 55. She's a country girl, lives on a farm in Nottingham, has a slim physique and carries a relaxed and approachable pose. They're different people, very different people, and have different values and seek a different look despite wearing the same dress. Ellie and Heather have different views on sustainability, human rights, and the environment. Let's see how we can carry this through to an e-commerce experience that appeals to both Heather and Ellie. In this example, the product, which is a dress, that's a specific SKU, is shown in a context relevant to the buyer. The contextual elements here are age and country versus urban. This could be expanded to other variants based on, for example, geography or gender for unisex clothes. So users can choose whether or not to enable an individualized or contextual experience. Heather's seeing pictures, text, links relevant to her age and preferences. Ellie's teaser is referencing summer cocktails and with friends, whereas Heather's is referencing country walks and summer barbecues. Heather's product description references a flattering V-neck and traditional look, whereas Ellie, the younger model, references a modern, fresh look for socializing and dating, with a waist tie flattering her more youthful figure. This offers a slick, minimal, uncluttered user journey where product content is highly focused on the audience. Of course, seeing the dress in a context relevant to each one of those makes it more appealing and encourages a purchase. Again, this is not personalization. This is product contextualization, as we are showing the same product in a context relevant to the user. So this is a real-time, one-on-one commerce experience that's driven by product data. So why is this unique to Novomind? Well, we're able to deliver this experience without cache, using in-memory technology, with scalable high-performance architecture, and with a tight coupling of two Novomind products. That's our PIM and our commerce platform. So again, this is delivering real-time, one-on-one contextual product experiences, which I think is unique to our technology. And it actually gets me pretty excited because I think this is the future of fashion commerce. So a full demo of our PIM takes quite a long time, so I'm going to do a cut down version here and kind of show you highlights of the system if I'm able to change the slide over to the demo system. One second while this plays some catch up. Okay, so I believe that we are probably, you're probably seeing our demo system here. So here we have our PIM portal. This is the main dashboard. At the top it shows my tasks, which are specific to a user's role. Tasks could include approvals, creating an image or text, or data quality flags. On the right shows the number of products and related assets. A product is like a wrapper, so that's a dress that could come in multiple sizes and colors. Within this structure, most data only needs to be managed once at a high level. Below the product status provides a graphical overview of workflow status using traffic lights, with a breakdown of tasks requiring actions along with a percentage complete. You can see the different modules here. So IPIM is for product information management. IPIM DAM is for managing digital assets. IPIM Supply is an integrated supply onboarding system. Buy is a self-service customer portal that provides access for third parties. Analytics provides a graphical reporting view of data quality. IPIM Workflow is a visual tool used to create and manage workflows. We also have IPIM Print, which manages printout output via PDF or Adobe InDesign. So if I go for the search here, my default search here is for sports and leisure, and the results are shown on the right. The search is highly customizable on a per user basis and can be configured to search on any attribute fields within the system. These searches can be bookmarked. On the right hand side, we see the search results for this predefined assortment group. Each product has a traffic light system showing status, and each part of the system is designed to be intuitive and to provide easy access to only the required functionality based on a particular user's role. So if I click on a backpack here, we have the product details dashboard. On the left, we have the product and variant, such as size. Green lights are showing the status is good and the product pricing status. On the right, you have a view of the current workflow, data quality, assigned sales channels. And in the middle, we have a classification group for the product, which defines the attributes. For example, a dress and a television will have a completely different attribute set. The bar charts are showing us how many mandatory assets are missing and the number of assets assigned and also the text. Under the product attributes tab, excuse me, have all the attributes that are defined for this particular category. These are completely customizable and can include things like text, numbers, multiple fixed values, and so on. There's no limit to the number of assets in the system, as this can be configured globally. Attributes can also be exported really easily, excuse me, for example, for translation. Next is the text tab. I can just resize that. Text are handled differently within the system as they're longer in length and are typically used for marketing teasers, online or print. So we provide a rich text editor and integrate with systems like Google, Tradis, Transit and agency systems. So the idea is that all text related to a product, including marketing text, are stored within one system, and that is, of course, the PIM. All digital assets are stored in our DAM solution with full text search capabilities. Video data is also supported, and these are exported or pushed out to the relevant channels via configurable automations. Taxonomies here shows the output channels for product, for example, multiple online storefronts or marketplaces such as eBay and Amazon. It's possible to integrate an unlimited number of sales channels within the system. This one is showing 2 particular storefronts that we have set up. Prices here are visible in the system and of course support multi-currency as you would expect with any solution like this. We have a concept here called work lists. So on the left we have our work list. These are groups of products or folders that can be shared with other team members. They can be configured on a user level to show predefined or all attributes, and it allows you to monitor certain products that you might need to keep tabs on. My work list is shown on the left-hand side, showing different categories, and the traffic light system is showing the status on each one. We have a different view of the taxonomies. So this taxonomy view allows us to show the shop on a per channel basis. So here we have Novomind shops selected at the top. The structure for the shop is created in the PIM rather than the shop system. Once the structure has been created, you can assign products to the different categories, and they automatically will update based on new data that's flowing in. So Novomind works on an app concept. So apps can provide limited functionality based on a specific user's role. Here we have a list of standard apps within the system. Others can be created in project. This makes the system really easy to use because different users can have effectively a cut down interface based on their specific role. This is one example of an app. So this is an app for reviewing reviews. All reviews are stored within, all product reviews are stored within the PIM system. These come from the shop system, and this app provides bespoke functionality so that someone can review the reviews before they go live onto the site. iPIM Supply here is our integrated supplier onboarding system that provides an interface for all suppliers to load their catalogues. Below is a list of catalogues from various suppliers. The traffic light system shows the status for each catalogue. Sometimes a supplier might have a huge number of catalogues, but you might only wish to take, for example, one catalogue. iPIM supply system is divided into 4 stages: the import, transformation of the data into your own attribute model, approval stage, and then the stage where it's the data is synchronized with your internal data model. iPIM Analytics is a dashboard that provides a management view on the product data with a graphical interface. Unlike a reporting system, this is live and shown in real time. So our widget concept is customizable and can show data within iPIM with different displays based on an individual user rules. So for example, a widget could show the status of products within a certain classification going to a particular online store. In this example, the classification structures are shown on the right, and on the left, the status of related workflows are displayed graphically with a traffic light system. So a manager could easily see the status of product classifications related to their role and drill down to see where issues lie. This is our iMarket dashboard that shows an overview of product data and sales figures for each marketplace channel. The traffic light system shows problems that require attention. iMarket deals with all of the product data and transactions and order fulfillment across all the live marketplace channels, such as eBay, Amazon, and I think we integrate with about 40 others. You can search for specific products and see which channel they're being sold on, with a traffic light system showing problems such as pricing or pricing not being set. And it also shows things like problems with stock availability. In this case, we can see that the product is live on eBay and 2 other different channels. So I'm not going to dare change screens back to my PowerPoint deck because that's too a little bit too scary. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining. Thanks for taking the time to have this overview, and I'd be delighted to hear from you if you have any questions or comments, and if you'd like a further deep dive of the platform or to learn a little bit more about my thoughts on the fashion sector.
Cool. Thanks so much, Rupert. Really insightful and great to see a live demo. I hope everyone had a very insightful 60 minutes where all 3 vendors had a different take on the best solution for fashion, the best PIM solution for fashion. I want to invite all of you to join the vendors and the different speakers during their live Q&A sessions on the Sessions tab on your left, or if you'd rather just chat with them or view more information on their tooling, you can also visit the Expo. There you will find different booths, including one of our own, where I will be present, and you can ask questions there, both to the speakers and to the different members of their teams. I want to thank all the different speakers. So thanks, Josh. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Rupert, for showing off your different solutions and for taking the time today. And I hope to see everyone during the sessions or taking a stroll on our Expo. See you next time. We have a full list of events and hope to see you in the coming weeks. Thank you so much.